After the boss went on a business trip abroad, the new female intern suddenly claimed she was pregnant with the boss's child. She settled comfortably in the boss's executive office, and as the boss's wife, she started laying down the rules for us. First, you're not allowed to eat every day because the smell of anything greasy makes me sick. Second, you all must dedicate yourselves entirely to serving me. If I ask for something, you have to get it done. Third, no air conditioning in the office. The outdoor unit is too loud and keeps me awake. If you can't handle that, then all of you can get out. We were careful, terrified of upsetting her, but she still found ways to make things difficult at every turn. Unable to take it anymore, I called the boss. I was ready to quit on the spot and yell at him, asking if he could just take his pregnant wife home because she was causing chaos and running the company into the ground. But the boss, across the ocean, was furious. Pregnant? What are you talking about? I'm a complete bachelor. I had just dropped the boss off at the airport and was about to grab a big meal when I got a call from a colleague. On the other end, the voice was low and urgent. The assistant, when are you coming back? Stuffing my face with a sandwich, I replied, about half an hour. Why? You need to come back as soon as possible. Ashley says she's pregnant with the boss's child. She's about to start laying down rules for us. My hand trembled, and the sandwich fell to the ground in shock. Ashley? The intern who just started yesterday? I quickly got in my car. Don't worry, I'll be right back. I have to say, the boss knew how to keep a secret. As his assistant, I had no idea he even had a girlfriend. I had wondered at the time how Ashley, with her background and experience, ever got hired here in the first place. Now, it all made sense. It's just that the boss didn't bother to tell me beforehand. 10 minutes later, I was back at the office. Instead of working, all the employees were gathered in the boss's conference room. They were huddled in a circle, leaning forward, and I could hear a woman shouting. She was acting more important than the boss himself. I hurried through the crowd. Ashley was half reclining on the sofa, one hand on her stomach. When she saw me, her frown deepened. Just getting back? Do you know the whole company has been waiting for you? You sure know how to make an entrance. I quickly bowed my head, forcing a smile. There was some traffic on the way. Before I could finish, she cut me off. You've lost your monthly performance bonus this month. I clenched my fists, gritted my teeth, but in the end, I meekly apologized. The person who had been respectfully calling me the assistant yesterday now had a completely different status. If I messed up and offended her, forget my bonus, I could even lose my job. Although I could find another job if I lost this one, I wouldn't find one with benefits this good. I was reluctant to let it go. Seeing that I had straightened up, Ashley raised an eyebrow. Now that everyone's here, I'll tell you the rules. The employees around me stiffened, their faces turning grim. As I wondered what was going on, Jessica tugged at my sleeve. In a voice only we could hear, she told me Ashley's rules were completely unreasonable. Listen up, everyone. I'm pregnant, and I'm carrying the boss's heir to the company. As she spoke, her hand instinctively went to her stomach. First, lunch is cancelled. No one is allowed to eat in the office. This made every employee gasp. I couldn't help but speak up. Ashley, everyone works hard. If we don't eat. Before I finished, a cup of scalding hot water was thrown at me. Who do you think you are, calling me by my first name? From now on, when you see me, you'll address me as the boss's wife. My face contorted in pain, and my body trembled uncontrollably. Ashley scoffed and pointed at me. You all saw that. This is what happens when you defy me. Seeing this, the employees were terrified and didn't dare make a sound. Second, she raised her voice, a look of arrogance on her face. All of you are here to serve me. If I tell you to go east, you don't go west. Third, all the air conditioners must be turned off. The outdoor unit gives me a headache. This time, no one dared to object, not even me. The spot on the floor where the hot water had hit was visibly red and swollen. Did you hear me? If you can't do it, get out. With that, she gave me a warning glare. The employees quickly nodded repeatedly, respectfully acknowledging her commands. After dismissing everyone, she kept me behind. I heard you're my husband's assistant? I gave a weak smile. I just usually help the boss organize some materials he needs. But she wasn't buying that answer. Massage my shoulders first. I went behind her. Is this pressure okay? She lay back on the sofa and closed her eyes. I didn't mean to make things difficult for you, but my husband said, if I don't set rules for your employees now, I won't have any authority later. But I don't think you'd dare have any objections, right? After all, you need this job to survive. Besides, the things I'm asking for aren't excessive. She suddenly opened her eyes. Are they? I quickly shook my head, plastering a smile on my face. Not at all, not at all. Watching her tyrannical behavior, I couldn't help but question the boss's taste. Had he gotten older, gotten hungry, and now just eat anything? I spent the whole morning being ordered around like a servant. She looked at the coffee I had made with dissatisfaction and even threw the cup. How did you even get this job? I wanted it lukewarm, do you understand? But at that moment, I had no mind to listen to her, because that cup of coffee had, purely by chance, spilled onto the boss's desk. On it were the boss's signed contracts. With a long face, I say. Heidi, the boss's wife, these contracts are needed in a couple of days. Even though I was quick, large coffee stains were left on the contracts. Ashley glanced at me, her tone flat. It's just stained. A contract is nowhere near as valuable as the baby in my belly. She suddenly snapped at me. You are to serve me with all your heart now, understand? You can't even act like a proper servant. I suppressed my anger, my voice still trembling slightly. The boss's wife, this contract is important. How about I take it out to handle it now? Luckily, she nodded in agreement. But just as my hand touched the doorknob, she called out to me again. Get 2 women in here to give me a foot massage. I bit my lip. Okay. Stepping out, I realized something was different. It was hot. So hot. The employees, who should have been fully focused on their work, were all doing the same thing. They were fanning themselves with whatever they had. I froze, then looked back at the central air conditioner. It wasn't on. Not only that, but the power strip had been taken away. Everyone was miserable, looking at me pleadingly. Just as I was about to say something, Ashley came out, holding her stomach. Stop it, everyone! Her sharp eyes swept across us. The reason I didn't let you turn on the air conditioning is that I think the outdoor unit is too noisy. And look at you! Making noise outside. Are you intentionally trying to annoy me? In an instant, everyone put down what they were holding. Their faces showed embarrassment, and they all shook their heads, saying they wouldn't dare. But you've already made me angry. Ashley looked at me accusingly. How did you become an assistant? You have no management ability whatsoever. Just as I was about to speak, she waved her hand and pointed out several employees as if picking soldiers. You few, stand up. Now, start doing 200 squats. What? The employees who were singled out looked annoyed but still spoke politely. The boss's wife, we. 300. Seeing Ashley keep increasing the number, those few didn't dare say another word. They immediately started doing squats. She clapped her hands and turned to look. The reason they were punished is because they were fanning themselves too hard, making too much noise. I looked where she pointed. The employees' faces were drenched in sweat. They were grunting and groaning as they exercised, looking utterly miserable. Now, you need to do 500 squats. I pointed to myself in disbelief. Me? She curled her lip in disdain. Who told you not to manage these people properly? You bear the most responsibility. Suddenly, her face darkened. Aren't you going to do it? I didn't dare hesitate, covering my head with my hands and squatting down. She slowly addressed the other employees. Is it hot? Is it very hot? How come I don't feel hot? Hearing this, I wanted to curse her ancestors. Of course, she didn't feel hot. She was in the office with the air conditioning set to 18 degrees and the boss's blanket draped over her. How could she possibly feel hot? But I only dared to think these things. Ashley pulled a chair from the side and sat down. The baby in my belly, the boss's heir to the company, is hungry. Her fingertips tapped rhythmically on the armrest. What should we eat? How about this? I want some gourmet soup, from the place downtown. And some specialty pasta dish, from the one on the west side. With that, she patted my shoulder. You've worked hard, the assistant. It's mainly because the baby in my belly wants to eat. After saying that, she slowly walked into the office. The moment she left, the employees collectively sighed in relief. But the next second, she opened the door again and poked her head out. Get 2 women in here to massage my legs. Make it 4. For my feet, too. With that, she slammed the door shut. All the employees looked over with worried faces. The assistant, what do we do now? The employee who was doing squats started crying. I have a contract that the client needs by this afternoon. What should I do? I was panting, and I looked at the time. The boss was on a plane right now, calling him was impossible. Hang in there, everyone. The boss gets off the plane at 4 p.m. I'll report this situation to the boss. After all, I was the biggest victim right now. After finishing the squats, I felt half dead. If I hadn't held onto the nearby desk, I would have collapsed onto my knees. But remembering Ashley's words, I didn't dare hesitate for a second. I went downstairs right away, still wearing my sweat-soaked clothes. On the way to get the food, I cursed as I drove. I even cursed the boss profusely. When I got back with the food, I found a different group of employees in the office. I carefully placed the food I had bought in front of her. She pouted, her voice suddenly gentle. You've been running around, haven't you? Saying this, she patted the sofa next to her. Have a seat. Seeing her fake kindness, I felt a bit uneasy. The moment I sat down on the sofa, Ashley poured all the soup from the container over my head. Before I could react, the bowl of noodles also fell from my head all over me. I jumped up. What are you doing? She glared at me fiercely. And you're my husband's assistant? Haven't you heard you need to be extra careful with pregnant women? This food is cold. Even a dog wouldn't eat it. She threw the food container at me. Go buy it again. At that point, the smell on me was an indescribable mix. Sweat, soup, and noodles all mixed together. Seeing I wasn't moving, she frowned. Didn't you hear me talking to you? Do you want me to fire you to be satisfied? I clenched my fists and quickly wiped the mess off my face. Then I picked up the scattered noodles from the floor and grabbed her face. I pulled her mouth open. I'm ing done. After quickly doing that, I felt a lot better. Ashley choked on the noodles, her face turning red. She propped herself up on the sofa with one hand and clutched her throat with the other. A few noodles even shot out of her nose. You just wait. I'm going to make my husband fire you. I fixed my hair. All right, I'll be waiting. Saying that, I turned and walked right out of the office. Jessica saw my state and looked heartbroken. She started picking the leftover noodles off me. While doing so, she pointed to Emily behind her, tears in her eyes. Emily's stomach problems flared up. She just threw up blood. I was shocked. Why didn't you take her to the hospital? Jessica started crying properly. Ashley wouldn't let us. She said fewer people would affect the company's efficiency. I rushed over to Emily. Her face was pale, her hair stuck to her head, and she was curled up as tightly as possible. The assistant, to the hospital. Jessica and I immediately lifted Emily, and several other employees behind us rushed to help. After getting Emily settled, I returned to the company. By then, the office was in chaos. The break room had been completely trashed. The microwave was broken into several pieces. Jessica told me Ashley was currently taking a shower in the boss's office, and she planned to confront me later. I pulled out my phone. It was 4:30 p.m. The boss would have just landed. She wanted to fire me? I'm not working here anymore. Furious, I called the boss. What kind of girlfriend did you get? Have you lost your mind? Can you please take your crazy little wife home? She's causing chaos. Someone like Ashley will run your company into the ground eventually. Just wait, you'll go bankrupt. And by the way, I quit. There was silence on the other end for a while. I even wondered if the call hadn't connected. Finally, Robert shouted. Zhang Yujia, what the hell is wrong with you? Stop talking nonsense. I'm a complete bachelor. What do you mean, giving me a girlfriend? Listening to the boss's roar. On the other end, it was my turn to be stunned. You don't have a girlfriend? I asked again, just to be sure. This time, Robert replied even louder. You work with me every day, don't you know if I have one? All right, get the contract with Qianting ready. I'll be at the office soon. Weren't you on a business trip abroad? The boss answered impatiently. Someone told me they needed to discuss some contract details while I was waiting at the airport, okay? I hung up the phone and stood rooted to the spot for a long time. It was clear. The boss didn't have a girlfriend. Ashley was a complete fraud. Suddenly, the office door was flung open. Ashley strutted towards me, looking arrogant. You came back? Just as she was about to slap me, I grabbed her arm tightly. Her face turned red. Do you know what you're doing? If I lose the baby in my belly, your life won't be enough to pay for it. I let go abruptly. Due to the inertia, her body swayed backward. All the employees around us stood up and looked in our direction. Li Ping, plug in the power strip. Turn on the air conditioning. Jessica, order lunch. Expend the cost to finance. Everyone was stunned. Go on. Ashley's face was pale, her fists clenched. Who dares to? I'm your boss's girlfriend, and I'm carrying his child. Who dares to disobey me? I sneered. You say you're our boss's girlfriend? Where's the proof? As I spoke, I stared intently at her. Go, order the food. Ashley was furious and pushed me. She took out her phone. Proof, huh? You want proof? Then, she thrust her phone towards me. A triumphant look on her face. Does this count as the proof you wanted? Seeing the photo on the screen, my face froze. It was a photo of Ashley with Robert's parents. The three of them were sitting close together, looking completely like a family. I stepped back a few paces, my confidence faltering. What is this? The boss had clearly said he didn't have a girlfriend, but what was Is photo? Could it be photoshopped? But the next second, Ashley disproved that idea. She opened WeChat and called Robert's mother directly on video. She pouted. Mrs. Smith, it's Ashley. Oh, Ashley. How have you been? The two chatted for a while, and only then did Ashley reluctantly hang up. She looked at me haughtily. Now, can I prove I'm your boss's girlfriend? As I was trying to figure out what was going on, she stepped forward and poked my shoulder. The pain pulled my gaze back to her face. What? Thinking about sucking up to me? She crossed her arms and looked at me mockingly. Except now you're fired. My husband's company doesn't allow scum like you. Biting my tongue would just give me high blood pressure, and stepping back would only make me angrier, the more I thought about it. I went straight back to my workstation and started packing my things. The employees around me looked on with pity. Ashley followed behind me, her words dripping with contempt. What makes you think you can go against me? I told you from the start, I'm carrying your boss's son in my belly. The heir to the company, do you understand? Who's pregnant with my son? The boss's voice suddenly rang out. I looked up and saw the boss staring at the state of the office, utterly bewildered. What happened to the break room? Did you guys get in a fight? Why isn't the air conditioning on? It's so hot. The assistant, turn on the AC. The boss walked towards his office as he spoke. Ashley quickly stepped in front of him, blocking his path. She looked him up and down, then lifted her chin and asked, Who are you? Didn't you know I was laying down the rules just now? At this, not only were we stunned, but the boss was speechless. You're in my company, asking me who I am? And what rules? Realizing they didn't know each other at all, I squeezed between them. Boss, this is your girlfriend. She's got your precious son in her belly. Didn't you know? I exaggerated my gestures, as I nailing to Robert. Ashley shoved me away. What are you talking about? My husband isn't him. My husband has muscles. Him? She curled her lip and scoffed. Not good enough. Robert's face quickly darkened. Who exactly are you? I quickly pulled the boss aside and rapidly explained everything to him. From setting rules to making things difficult for the employees, and finally causing Emily to be hospitalized. Robert's face changed and changed again, from pale to black. Didn't I ****ing tell you I don't have a girlfriend? You should have just kicked her out right then. What is she still doing here? I pouted. That's what I thought, but she had a photo with your parents. What? Robert raised his voice. I pointed at Ashley with my chin. If you don't believe me, ask her to show it to you again. Ashley heard our conversation and naturally pulled out her phone. Look, these are my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Now it was Robert's turn to be baffled. Where did you take this photo? Who is your husband? Ashley put her phone away. Who he is none of your business. Robert, who had never experienced such annoyance, immediately called his mother. Ashley? Isn't that Kevin's girlfriend? Kevin? Kevin? Robert asked again in disbelief. Ashley heard her boyfriend's name and suddenly became agitated. She snatched Robert's phone. Mrs. Smith, it's me, Ashley. Some strange man is pretending to be our Kevin. He's making me so mad. The person on the other end said something that visibly made Ashley nervous. After hanging up, she looked at us, clearly flustered. You're the boss of this company? Reluctantly, she moved closer to Robert. Robert didn't answer, he just made another phone call. While waiting for the person to arrive, things in the office returned to normal. Robert impatiently went into his office, but the next second, he came out looking distraught. Why is it such a mess? I sneered and casually handed him the contract that Ashley had ruined earlier. There's more mess than that. Robert completely lost it. Ashley sat on a chair, her hand still on her stomach. I think Kevin doesn't want this baby, so he got all of you to lie to me. What? Before we could process what she said, she started smashing things. The good news is we managed to restrain her. The bad news is that the employee who was rushing to finish a task didn't save their project. The client needed it by 8 p.m. tonight, but now everything was back to zero. This meant the collaboration failed, and we lost a full $3 million. Robert wanted to strangle Ashley, no, to be precise, every single one of us. She was yelling and cursing at us like a deranged woman. Where's Kevin? Why isn't our Kevin here yet? Robert resigned himself to bad luck and called Kevin again. Half an hour later, a man rushed in, looking flustered. He tiptoed over to Robert. Cousin. The words had barely left his mouth when Robert slapped him. He pointed at the mess on the floor. Look at the mess your girlfriend made. As Kevin covered his face, trying to explain, Ashley came over. Kevin! Before she even spoke, tears started falling. She threw herself into Kevin's arms, acting like a sweet wife. Kevin, when you weren't here, all these employees bullied me. Kevin awkwardly pulled her behind him. Stop messing around. Then he apologized to Robert with a fawning look. I'm sorry, cousin. It's my fault. My problem, I've caused you trouble. As he spoke, he moved backward. I'll take her back now. Seeing they were about to leave, I stopped them in time. If you take Ashley away, who's going to pay for our company's losses? Hearing that, Kevin froze. Ashley broke free from his embrace. What the hell are you? Standing with hands on hips like a deranged woman, she yelled, You're just a dog for our Kevin. No matter what you say, you're just an employee. You have no right to speak. Even if I damaged a lot of things in the company, it's all Kevin's. He hasn't even said anything. What are you talking about? I took a few steps back, not out of fear, but because she was spitting on my face from a short distance. Robert glanced at Kevin. All right, explain what's going on. Kevin trembled and knelt. Cousin, it's my fault. I was too vain. I lied. Seeing this, Ashley, next to him, was still about to curse. The next second, Kevin he violently pushed her down onto the floor. Will you ****ing be quiet for a minute? From Kevin's mouth, we learned the whole story. To make himself seem more important, he had told people he was the boss of the company. This kind of talk couldn't fool women from high society. But it attracted Ashley, who came from a bar background. After they quickly started dating, he needed to keep the lie going. He took Ashley to meet the parents. Who were Robert's parents? This explained why they had a photo together and why Ashley had Robert's mother's WeChat. Hearing the whole story, Ashley completely broke down. She punched Kevin in his chest. You lied to me. You're nothing. You used someone else's identity to deceive me. By then, Kevin he was completely fed up. He pushed Ashley away and yelled at her, sticking his neck out. Even if I did lie to you, I didn't tell you to come cause a scene at someone else's company. Ashley was crying her eyes out, but I patiently knelt and told her how much she needed to pay in compensation. First is the contract with Chianting Company. You have to get it redone. Then there's Emily's medical expenses and workers' compensation. You have to bear all these costs. And then there was the collaboration with Yunting Group just now. Because you made such a scene. It's all gone. I finished saying all this slowly, and Ashley's whole body slumped. Kevin also looked at her with frustration. Finally, I pointed to the mess in the office and the clothes on my body. You have to pay for all of this, too. Robert slowly added, I'll go with whatever the assistant says. Jessica also came over. It's a total of $5 million, and that's the family discount. Kevin was so angry, he stepped directly on Ashley's hand. You just know how to cause me ing trouble. I'm ing done with you. You have to pay them this money, even if you have to sell yourself. Saying this, he started to leave, but Ashley desperately grabbed his pant leg. No! I'm pregnant. It's your baby. Ashley's screams filled the entire office. And of course, that successfully stopped Kevin from leaving. According to the boss, Kevin's family did have some assets, but not a lot. In his early years, Kevin had tried to start a business like a rich second generation, dealing a heavy blow to his family's finances. Added to that, the recent market downturn caused his family's small workshop to go bankrupt. I listened, my heart pounding. The boss scoffed. Kevin's parents had lost their company and thought they could rely on their family savings to get their son married. But Kevin had more ambition than skill. He ended up resorting to lying to deceive girls. Kevin seemed a bit moved. He looked at Robert awkwardly. Cousin, after all, we're family. Can you cut us some slack? Sure enough, Robert hesitated. I quickly leaned in and asked him what kind of relative he was. He licked his lips. A neighbor from my grandmother's place when I was a kid. I exclaimed, seriously? That's barely related. Immediately, I put on a stern face. No way. $5 million, no less. Ashley didn't just ruin the company's assets, she messed with our employees' well-being. Kevin's face immediately fell. He glared at me intensely. What right do you have to speak for my cousin? I choked for a second at being shut down, but Robert smiled faintly. Because of the special authority I've given her. She's in charge of company matters. After he said that, I silently apologized to the boss in my heart. I had cursed him too soon. Seeing that T couldn't win against her, Kevin dragged Ashley out of the company. The money was paid in installments, at the cost of all of Kevin's family's properties, including all of Ashley's assets. Of course, I heard all this from Robert. In the office, his face was grim. Zhang Yujia, when did you ever hear I had a girlfriend? I awkwardly scratched the back of my head. As your subordinates, we wouldn't presume to pry into the boss's private life. He slammed his teacup down on the desk. Go inform everyone. Dinner is on me tonight. Also, to make up for this, everyone gets 2 days of paid leave starting tomorrow. I was ecstatic and rushed out of the office to announce the good news. Emily also called and said she was okay and not seriously hurt. With that, I felt a weight lifted from my chest. After dinner, we all went home. Lying in my soft, warm bed, I still felt it was absurd. What happened today was truly unbelievable. Robert flew abroad again after handling the contracts. The reason for the last-minute flight change was naturally due to issues with the contract. After my leave, I went back to work, and all the employees had smiles on their faces. You have to understand, when Ashley was here that day, we were all miserable. During lunch, a few of us sat together, joking around. Ashley's attitude. I thought she was going to be the boss's wife. I laughed, saying I had even mentally dissed the boss's taste at the time. Just as we were in the middle of our lively discussion, Ashley showed up. I thought, oh great, to myself. Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. Ashley looked furious, but you could see she wasn't well. Holding her stomach, she threw a medical report at me. It's all because of you. I lost the baby in my belly. I shot up from my seat. How is that my fault? But she suddenly sat down on the floor and started acting like a spoiled brat. If you hadn't demanded so much money from me, why would my Kevin have hit me? Saying she rolled up her sleeve, revealing bruises right in front of me. I found it ridiculous. Kevin, he hit you. What do you want from me? She glared at me hatefully, tears welling up in her eyes. My baby is gone. You have to be responsible. Seeing that being nice wasn't working, I called security. This time, without the pretense of being the boss's wife, Ashley was simply escorted out. It was then that I learned that after leaving the company that day, Kevin had taken Ashley straight home. As they say, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. Kevin's family still had some assets. They still lived in a stand-alone house. Kevin introduced Ashley directly to Robert's parents. At first, the old couple completely disagreed, but as soon as they heard she was pregnant, they immediately gave in. Kevin secretly sold the house using the property deed and also convinced Ashley to take out all her money for compensation. After Ashley did as he said, she realized she had been tricked. Kevin had no intention of paying the money himself. Selling the house earlier was just staging the whole thing for her. She immediately had a huge fight with Kevin. "It's your baby in my belly. Are you even human?" She thought this would change Kevin's mind, but instead, she was pushed to the ground. "I'm ing infertile. Where the hell did you get pregnant?" Immediately after, countless punches rained down on Ashley. The baby was lost at that time. Hearing this, I felt a deep sense of melancholy. So Kevin's shock back then wasn't because he learned Ashley was pregnant, but because he was furious that Ashley had cheated on him. Every day after that, I saw Ashley at the company entrance. Most of the time, she looked like a deranged woman. "Give me back my money. It's all because of you." I was truly innocent, so I finally called the boss. From across the ocean, he immediately said he would take care of this problem for me. So half an hour later, he arrived. Ashley was visibly terrified of Kevin, struggling and trying to run away. After the two left, I thought that was the end of it. But to my surprise, 3 days later, the boss called me. He sounded troubled and asked me to come to his house. Ashley went to my parents. "Can you help me deal with it?" I was about to refuse, but his next sentence caught my attention. "I'll give you a week of paid leave. I'll handle it right away." Working for Robert these past few years, the benefits were undeniably good. Holidays were always observed, and my salary was double that of a regular assistant. But all of this came at the cost of my time. To put it nicely, I had dedicated myself entirely to the company. To put it bluntly, Robert dominated my time. So much so that I hadn't had a proper break in a long time. This time, after dealing with this, I was going to take a good vacation. I parked my car in front of the standalone house. Before I even went inside, I heard Ashley yelling. "When Kevin lied to me, you were complicit. If it weren't for your protection, how could I have been fooled? Now my baby is gone, my house is gone. I have nothing left, and I'm burdened with debt. All of this should be your responsibility." When I walked in, Robert's parents were too scared to speak, seeing her like that. Both of them were highly educated, they wouldn't know how to curse someone out. Ashley was sitting on the sofa, acting completely like the lady of the house. "If you can't solve this, then I'm not leaving." Saying this, she lay down on the sofa. "From now on, this is my home." As she lay down, she saw me out of the corner of her eye. She immediately perked up and jumped off the sofa. "You dare show your face here?" I held up my phone. "You don't have money to pay back now, do you?" She spat in my direction. "That's right. I'm not planning to pay. You also don't have any assets to use as collateral, do you?" "So what? I'm staying put. What can you do about it?" I said my lips. "I can't do anything to you, but the police can." As Ashley was being taken away, she was still shouting obscenities. After everything was settled, I called Robert. But to my surprise, his phone started ringing upstairs. He opened the door and stood at the top of the stairs on the second floor, looking down at me. "I mainly wanted to see your problem-solving skills." I was speechless. Just like a corporate guy, squeezing me dry. Robert's parents quickly pulled me to the sofa. "Dinner will be ready soon, Yujie. Please stay and eat." Out of kindness to the elderly couple, I stayed. But at the dining table, the old couple kept asking me what kind of guys I liked. Robert's ears turned bright red. "My parents are just asking casually." Back home, I received the approved leave request from Robert. And a message from him. "My parents seem to like you.